What's going on, guys, and welcome back to AFL SuperCoach here with my round 11 review. Looking at the score for last week, 2-2-5-5, pretty much on par, nothing too special to be honest. Did better overall than last round in terms of the rank for the round, but my season rank pretty flat. So sitting at 15,000 at the moment. Haven't really moved. That's okay. Hopefully we can make a few runs within the bye. Ranked top 8% at the moment. I'll get into the team now. Zoom out. Okay. In terms of the team, just going line by line. Roberts traded him in the last 2 weeks. After he'd scored all his 150s, 140s or whatever. And apparently now he's no longer a Uber Primo, which is great. So awesome paying up for him. I don't know who I would have gone if I didn't go him, but still not good return the last 2 weeks. This is what it is. Whitfield did late out, very late out this past round. So I think it was within, say, 15 minutes of the ball bouncing. I don't really think this one through, to be honest, because I had Buslinger, who was a non-playing defender. I had Edwards covering Buslinger. Dirksen was essentially... I got the 54 from Edwards, and I'm like, will Dirksen score more than that? Don't know. Probably should have taken the punt anyway. If I did that, I would have put Buslinger on the bench. Dirksen would have been scoring for me. Edwards would have covered for Whitfield, but it wasn't the case. So I guess just... I wouldn't call it lazy or sloppy, but just more just awareness to have made that move in case one of my defenders were laid out like Lockie, but you never expect these things to happen. But when they do, it's good to be prepared. Anyway, Whitfield clearly scored a 0, got nothing for him, and went in with 22 scoring plays rather than 23. So, got stung regarding that. Sinclair, as consistent as ever. Clark and Houston could learn a bit of Sinclair as it relates to consistent scoring, but Clark just continues to disappoint, and Houston, I don't know, can't get his own ball. Going through how even Josh Dacos got tagged, I think it was Murdoch, and still didn't have a good score. He's been good in the past, Houston, but because it's a bit of a yo-yo, and if I had more trades up my sleeve, currently got 16. Who knows where things land after all the rookies are off field, and if I can afford to get him off, but for the moment, he's just going to have to sit there, and it is what it is. Lesson for next time. Not to get Danny Houston, no matter how tempting he looks. All right, moving on. In terms of bench, Busling, a known scoring player. Edwards just chipping away at his score there. And then Dirksen was one of my trade-ins. Went up 44k, break even to -21. Awesome buying there. Butters, 103, a little bit disappointing, but at least he's scoring like a premium, which is great. He's been on a hot streak recently, so we're going to have down games. Heaney, LDU, Dacos, Finn, Walsh. You look at that, you're like, going pretty well. And that's what you want in terms of your Uber Primos and Primos. You want this level of scoring. Reshko was the one that came out of the box, and happy fielding him given his scoring prowess to date. But wasn't expecting 107 score from him, but got it, which is great. Anderson was a non-playing player for this past week, coming covered, and was happy to take the 72 from Cummings. So you look at the midfield in isolation, you go, a bit lucky with Reshko, no doubt, but overall, that's pretty good scoring. Moving forward, Cherry and Gawn both scoring 114. Gawn was my captain, and bit of a spoiler. I got Grundy last week after the Sarong injury, but I'll get to that when I get to Grundy. But I was expecting Gawn to score definitely more than that regarding his matchup against Western Bulldogs, because they didn't have, a recognised ruckman. Lob did end up rucking a fair bit, and he's a big body, so didn't really expected that to some extent, but Gawn's obviously another level as it relates to a ruckman compared to Rory Lobb, but yeah, I feel like I got scaled down a fair bit in the last quarter as well. It is what it is. Take 140 as a captain score. There's worse captain scores out there. I don't think anyone really got off the chain regarding scores. I would love to see actually the highest scoring score for last round. Darcy Parish. Jesus Christ. Darcy Parish. Wow. Look at the drop off. Darcy Parish. Oh, I scrolled way too quickly. Parish, Millera. Not many people have Millera, Clayton Oliver, Phoenix Gothard. Jesus Christ. That's out of the box. LDU, Ed Richards, Bailey Williams. So I guess the point is no one went besides Darcy Parish, which not many people have. A big score there. So so you take 140 as captain score, but expected more. ZZ, non-playing player. Sheasel, unreal as always, or most of the time. Pretty consistent. Petrarca, that's the level of scoring on from Petrarca. Flanders has been really good last couple of weeks. Pickett, bounce back game. Philippou, 88, unreal for his value and price. What's his break even now? 38, could go up 20k. If he gets 83 next round, doubt it against Hawthorn, but you just never know. He's one, not to jump trades just yet, but one to question if we keep him or move him on. Henry, I really expected more from Henry when I traded this guy in. What's his scoring last since I traded him in? So put up an 88 and a 56, averaging 72, thinking, yeah, we're on here. We're on here. He's a pretty good buy. He's going to make lots of money. No. Psych. No good. Anyway, what's his break even at now? 54. I don't even know if he'll 54. And he hasn't even made 37k. So in hindsight, unless he has a spike over the next game or two, that is a failed buy. Is what it is. Dobson, Reedy, non-playing players, Grundy. So I get the news when the teams drop regarding Sarong calf. Now, no news on tightness, awareness. He's pulled the calf off the bone and was like, well, what do I do here? And Sarong, for the most part, was someone who I think from memory wasn't overly highly owned, maybe say 15 to 20%. And I looked at my midfield, I'm like, okay, because I had Sarong here as M7. And I looked at it and said, when I get to my final team, whenever that is, do I want Sarong in my final team? Like, am I confident? And I feel like him and Walsh are the two that I'm like, if they're not there, I'm not that fussed about that. I feel like I'm not missing out on much, really. Just inconsistent scoring. And I'd be happy to not finish with Sarong and Walsh. Walsh is healthy, but Sarong being out. And it's like, you know what? Fucking send it. Let's fucking send it. Let's get Grundy. He's got the great matchup against Geelong. I'm sick and tired of seeing people take these 200, 150s, whatever the hell it is, and juicy matchup against Edwards at Geelong. I think we saw Cherry have his way with Edwards a couple of weeks ago, but people have been smashing Edwards recently, all throughout the year, being a young ruckman and all. Anyway, got the VC on Grundy, 95, doesn't even crack a ton, and break-even 110. I reckon his break-even will skyrocket once that 200 comes out of his system. Look, he does have a matchup against Richmond who don't recognise ruckman, don't have an AFL standard ruckman. So, look, he should be good. He was supposed to be good against Edwards. So, we'll see what happens here. I shuffled around Reedy, ZZ, these types. I got in, I think it was Dirksen. It was definitely Dirksen. And going off memory, was it just the two? Yeah, I think it was the two. I don't have any Bruce anymore. So it was, Dirksen and Grundy in, Sarong and someone out, whoever they were. I think it was Cook. Yeah, it was Cook. Cook made way because he had a lot of cash on his head. So that's how I lined up last week. Now, what next? So I've been doing a bit of buy structure planning, which I will share here. I'll move my head so you can see that. Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys can see that pretty clearly. Now, I've effectively got my targets or my ideal targets for each line, and I got the buy next to them. So in no particular order, really. I guess maybe subconsciously I put my number one target in each line at the top, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks goes. So in defense, Holmes, Naz, Wilkie, all round 16 buy players. Holmes, obviously, with the recent DPP changes and at a reasonably good price, I would definitely put him number one as it relates to defense. Naz is obviously injured. Wilkie, great price. That's defense in a nutshell. Mids, Bond, burn job not having him most rounds. Baz also round 16 by. Zach Merritt round 14 by. Richards round 16, Rowell round 12. Rowell and Richards being a little bit more risky injuries this year. And Zerrett, his role, question mark on that, but he's been pumping out some good scores, being pretty consistent. I think he might be top 8 or top 10 mid at the moment. Forwards are a little bit more interesting. So Horn Francis, I must have a soft spot for him, but I think, when you look at Port and the talent that they have, they actually need to play him, mid. Yes, they can play him forward. Yes, absolutely. But it's him, Butters, and who? Yes, Drew's good. Yes, he's probably an underrated player. But apart from that, what does their midfield rotation look like? So as a forward player, I like Horn Francis. Yes, had a couple of down games compared to last week, but I really like him as a buy. Ross, look, he's putting all doubters to shame, I guess. No one expects Jack Ross to be a premium top 6 forward, but frankly, the facts are that he is. And that round 13 buy is quite interesting, and not one that I'd buy into now because he's going to have round 13 off, but maybe coming off his buy to then play round 14, 15, 16 for us, and I guess the rest of the year. And he's not getting tagged. No one at Richmond's getting tagged. If they're going to tag someone, probably Taranto. But yeah. And then Sanders there at the end. He's been if you picked him at the start of the season or in draft, you'd be absolutely loving life. So in terms of my buy structure, or the recognized primos that are off each round, so 12, I got 5 off, 13, 2, 14, 4, 15, 3, around 16, 4. And before I even do any luxury trades, or before I even do my trades this week, essentially I've got essentially I've got 1 defender to go, 2 mids to go, 2 forwards to go. This is before luxury trades, and I've got 16 trades. So what are my plans for this week? What am I looking at doing? I'll just minimize this for the moment, or not maximize. Alrighty, let's get that back there. Bang, bang, bang. And then we'll make this a little bit bigger. Put me back up here. Alright, so in terms of what I'm looking at for this round, I'm really keen to get Holmes in. I just can't do it off 2 trades. I would love to do 2 trades. I want to keep clearly as many trades as possible for end of year. Injuries, whatnot, luxury trades, etc. I just, even with Holmes as a reasonable price, I just don't see myself getting there regarding, just the 2 trades. No one really has money on their head. Philip is probably the only one. And I probably could swing a couple of magnets around, but I just don't know my prospects by. Anyway, not sure on the injury list of bustling up, but in terms of how long he's out for, but still, what I'll do is before I do any trades, I might just flick across any playing players for this round on field, which that's pretty much the end of it. Coming on for Butters there. So I'm left with, so Bustlinger effectively is not playing, so I got a hole here. 1, 2, Anderson's not playing, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players off this round, and that is without doing trades. That's horrible. We need at least, at a minimum, max 4 off, because with the flex, we do have 23, so that'd be one more scoring player than needed. I'd hate to go in, if I have to go into the round with my best 18, 17, whatever it is. Not ideal. I guess, best 18 playing players. I would love to have 19 playing players as a minimum. So at least one can drop off if they're going really bad. Looking at the trades for this, what people are doing, Banfield, Ice and Holmes, very popular. That was effectively the 3 that I was looking at myself, to be honest. Not to say that following the crowd is not the worst, not a bad thing. Sorry, it's okay to do that, and people clearly got this 3-way in mind, if you can call it that. Cameron, I would love to go Cameron as it relates to value for money, but clearly I'm locked out now with Cherry gone. Grindy, if they all fire and it works, it's going to be great. But for the moment, that Grindy down game hasn't helped me. But effectively, I'm getting these 3 boys in. So that was my plan. And really, it's just a question mark on if I do Cumming or Philippou. So let's get some things moving. Let's go bustling it out. Let's go Anderson out. He's not currently playing. An easy one to do off the jump is Ison, because Ison is an absolute lock. Just given his price and the value he's presenting. See, I could go Wilkie instead and use 2 trades, which, to be honest, tempting from the perspective that I keep a trade. I can even go, if I wanted to, which I don't think I will, but if I wanted to get a massive cash grab for next week, would be, say, Philippou down, and get Banfield. And look, Banfield scored 80, Philippou scored 88. I don't know how, and to be honest, I don't know what the scoring will be like next week. Your guess is as good as mine, but am I actually losing out that much by having Banfield there? I know it looks really ugly regarding having Henry and Banfield there. Don't get me wrong. I fully acknowledge that. But the way I see it is, if the forwards are the lowest scoring across all lines, and we have a flex as well, what's the worst thing to tank F5 and F6 arguably during the buys? I'm not saying like for the rest of the season. I'm saying just through the buys, and potentially popping out at round 16 doing like a forward primo upgrade, or even just coming out of round 16 and then round 17 comes, going bang, bang, up. I don't know. It's just the thought that I've had. Because why wouldn't I fill out my defense, fill out my mids first, and then, and then who cares? Like, if I come out of round 16, then going into round 17 with a rookie, quote unquote rookie in my forward line, they'll drop off anyway. So what's the fuss? I think it more likely that I do this move where I get Holmes instead of Wilkie. I just feel like I have to go to the top. It feels a little bit yuck going, I'll say yuck going Wilkie, but if I'm using 3 trades, like, let's get a big dog in. And Holmes is absolutely a big dog, probably the biggest dog in the defense. So, at least by average, he is. So, effectively here, my defense is, I won't say done, because Houston and Clark, question marks on that, especially Houston. But no rookies in the defense line. Then I've got, if I put Butters back on, say, hypothetically, 2 more mids left, and then Henry, Banfield, etc. The only other change I can make here, because I've got 125 left for next week, which I actually really like as well. And I could, to be frank, I don't even think I'll trade for next week. I think I'll literally, if not trade at all, do 1 trade perhaps. But I could go out. Did I trade Philippou in that previous trade? I think I did. Yeah, so the change was, the other variation I was looking at was coming out. Philippou stays, and I have a lot less cash. but Philippou, I can move around Philippou and Banfield. Arguably, I put Philippou back to my forwards, and I also don't mind that as well, because I guess if I say I put Butters on as an example, Banfield's just riding the bench, Rechko, Ison, so I've got 2 more mids to go, 1 more forward, and who's to say I don't keep Philippou? Imagine he goes like maybe 80s for the rest of the year. Like, there's potential for that. Like, that's pretty awesome. I guess it's just more or less, if I keep Philippou, where's my next upgrade coming from? Edwards, not fattened. Dirksen just had his first price rise. Sharp, injured. Banfield's going to have his first price rise coming up. Ison, same. Rechko, he's going to... I want to trade him early out. I don't know. So yeah, the only thing regarding this is I don't have much money in the bank. I've used the 3 trades, got 13 left. So yeah, at least from a planning perspective, let's say I do this, what I can do if I move my head again. So from a planning perspective, you go, okay, Holmes, done. I've got him, so get rid of him. How has this changed my structure? I now go to having around 16 goes to 5 primos now. I don't need a defender anymore. I've got a defender, so that leaves 2 mids, 2 forwards. I have 4 upgrades left, and I have 13 trades remaining. So I think this is where I'll land. I do think I'll use 3. I do think I'll get Holmes in. But if I get cold feet, I might do the previous trade that I showed before, which was getting the cheaper Wilkie in, filling out that defensive line, and then having 14 trades left instead of 13, because trades are very important. So yeah, I'll watch this space. I'll see how I go this week, but welcome to buy rounds, guys. Like, this is where strategic play and your planning up until now is really important. Have you planned accordingly? Are you too heavy in one buy round? You can see I'm pretty top heavy in the first one, top heavy in the last. But we will be upgrading throughout. So hopefully we can all come out the other side with a full team, pre-luxury trades with, say, 4 or 5 trades left remaining. And then over to you as it relates to using up a couple for luxury trades or holding fire. It's been a year of carnage, so I'd recommend trying to save trade as much as possible, because, rich coming from me, but you see I've gone pretty hard the last couple of weeks. But, when we get to the end, you come out around 16. Let's say you've got 5 trades left, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 8 weeks with 4 trades. How many injuries are you going to cop, suspensions, etc. Yeah, you probably need at least 4 or 5 just to sit on your hands. And then once you start to get to around 22, 23, 24, if you've still got them, happy days, launch, go for it. Do some luxury trades, sideways moves, etc. People coming up to really easy runs in the last part of the year. But yeah, look, I'll leave it there for today, guys, in terms of the video. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed looking at sort of buy structure approach and planning for that. Feel free to do something similar for yourself, and set yourself up for success these next 5 rounds to then come out the other side in a much better position than when you entered it. So all the best for this week, guys, and catch you in the next one.